If you go to bed hungry, you're not being disciplined. You're quietly telling your body to eat itself. That may sound harsh, but it's exactly what happens after 60 when you end your day with an empty stomach and a tired body that's waiting for repair. You don't notice it the first night, not even the second. But slowly your legs begin to feel heavier in the morning. Your balance isn't quite the same. You sit at the edge of your bed longer than usual, waiting for your strength to arrive. And one day, you whisper to yourself, maybe this is just what getting older feels like. But it's not. It's something else, something quieter, and far more fixable. Let me explain. Your body doesn't stop rebuilding just because you're asleep. In fact, sleep is when the rebuilding should begin. Muscle, bone, hormones, energy, all of it is repaired during those hours of rest. But repair isn't free, it needs fuel. And after 60, your body doesn't store fuel like it used to. It doesn't absorb protein as efficiently. And it doesn't have the reserves to pull from. So if you give it nothing, it finds something, and that something is you. It starts breaking down your own muscle tissue to find the amino acids it needs to keep your heart beating, your lungs breathing, and your brain working. That's not a theory. It's not a scare tactic. It's a clinical process called overnight catabolism. And every time you go to bed without the right nutrients, this silent breakdown repeats itself, night after night. You don't feel it immediately, but one day you wake up and feel a little smaller, a little slower, a little less like yourself. And here's the part no one told you. It's not age, it's not genetics, it's not bad luck. It's because your body was waiting for you to give it something before sleep, and you gave it nothing. Now meet George. He's 74, a retired aircraft technician, sharp mind, steady hands, but lately, unsteady mornings. He thought he was doing the right thing, eating early, skipping snacks, drinking only water at night. But each morning his legs felt slower, his balance weaker, his walks shorter. Until one day he heard the same thing you're hearing now. That eating something small and specific before bed could actually rebuild his strength overnight. So he tried it, not a workout, not a supplement. Just one small spoonful of the right food 30 minutes before bed. And within 2 weeks he wasn't pushing off the bed with both hands anymore. He wasn't hesitating to stand. He wasn't afraid of his own steps. Because his body finally had what it needed to recover. And now it's your turn. In the next part, I'm going to walk you through 7 of the most powerful science-backed foods you can eat before bed to help stop muscle loss and start rebuilding your strength gently, steadily while you sleep. No pills, no workouts, no routines that wear you out. Just food, timing, and the knowledge your body has been waiting for. If you've been waking up slower, stiffer, or simply not yourself, this is where it begins to change. One bite at a time. George didn't start with supplements. He didn't count grams of protein or try to memorize complicated food charts. He started with one thing, something simple, something sitting quietly in the back of his refrigerator. Cottage cheese. Not exactly glamorous, not something most people crave. But for George, it was the first step. And here's why. Cottage cheese contains a special kind of protein called casein. Unlike most proteins, casein digests slowly, very slowly. Instead of a quick burst, like whey, which is digested and gone within 2 hours. Casein moves gently like a slow, steady stream, releasing amino acids into your bloodstream for 6 to 8 hours. Exactly what your muscles need during long periods of fasting, like sleep. Think of whey protein as a firework. Bright, quick, gone. And casein, it's more like a candle, burning slow, lasting through the night. A clinical study published in the British Journal of Nutrition tested this theory. Older adults were given a small amount of casein protein before bed. The result? A 31% increase in overnight muscle protein synthesis. They didn't just prevent muscle loss, They built muscle while sleeping, without exercise. Now imagine what that means for someone like George, someone who doesn't go to the gym, who just wants to get up without fear, to walk with confidence, to stand tall again. All from a single spoonful taken 30 minutes before bed. Here's how to do it right. Scoop out half a cup. That's about 100 to 120 grams. Plain cottage cheese, not the flavored kind. If the taste feels too bland, add a few banana slices, a pinch of cinnamon, maybe a drizzle of honey, just a touch. Want an extra edge, stir in a teaspoon of chia seeds. They add fiber and plant-based omega-3s, good for digestion, good for joints, good for your heart. Cottage cheese is also easy on the stomach, even for people who struggle with heavier meals at night, and it contains tryptophan, an amino acid that promotes better sleep. So it's not just feeding your muscles, it's helping you fall asleep faster, deeper, with less tossing and turning. Who is this for? For seniors who wake up feeling stiff, for anyone recovering from illness or injury, for those who want to stay strong without changing their entire life. You don't have to lift weights, you don't have to follow a diet, you just have to start with a spoon. Because sometimes the most powerful part of your recovery isn't what you do during the day, it's what you give your body before sleep. And cottage cheese, that's where it begins. But what if dairy isn't your thing, or you want something even simpler, something you already know but never thought to eat at night? Let's talk about the second food George added to his bedtime routine and why it made all the difference. The second thing George tried was something he hadn't eaten at night since he was a child. Eggs. Not scrambled, not fried, just simple hard-boiled eggs. At first he thought it was strange, a breakfast food at bedtime. But what he didn't realize is that eggs contain exactly what his aging body needed to stop losing muscle overnight and start rebuilding it slowly, gently, without effort. Let me explain. Each egg contains about 6 grams of complete protein. That means it has all 9 essential amino acids the body needs to preserve muscle. But there's one amino acid in particular that makes eggs so powerful for people over 60. Leucine. Leucine is like a switch. It turns on the muscle-building machinery inside your body. Without enough leucine, your muscles stay quiet. Even if you eat protein, nothing happens. And here's the problem. As we get older, our bodies become less sensitive to that switch. This is known as anabolic resistance. It means you need more leucine to trigger the same effect you once got easily in your younger years. Eggs solve that. They're packed with high-quality leucine in a form that's easy to absorb, easy to digest, and doesn't require eating large amounts of food. In fact, a 2021 study published in Nutrients tracked older adults who ate whole eggs before bed for 12 weeks. The results? A 19% increase in muscle preservation compared to those who ate nothing. But that's not all. The group that ate eggs also had higher levels of IGF-1, a natural growth hormone that supports tissue repair and muscle strength. And remember, they weren't exercising, they weren't taking pills, they were just eating 1 or 2 eggs before bed. That's it. Here's how to do it right. Boil 2 eggs in advance, let them cool, peel them, keep them in the fridge. About 30 minutes before bedtime, eat 1 or 2. Want to boost the effect? Sprinkle a little turmeric on top. Turmeric helps reduce inflammation, especially in the joints. Add a pinch of black pepper. It helps your body absorb curcumin, the active compound in turmeric. Want something heartier? Pair the eggs with a few slices of avocado or a piece of whole grain toast. This adds healthy fats and fiber which keep you full and help slow digestion, so your muscles stay fed longer through the night. And don't worry, eggs won't spike your blood sugar. They're low in carbs, gentle on the stomach, and easy to prepare. Who is this for? Seniors who feel weaker in the morning, anyone who sleeps light or wakes up often, people recovering from surgery, illness, or physical therapy, and anyone who just wants to protect the strength they've worked their whole life to build. Sometimes the simplest foods are the strongest allies. And in this case, hard-boiled eggs are one of the quietest but most effective defenders of your independence. But George didn't stop there. Because the third food was something he never expected to be so powerful, especially when combined with the right kind of fat. It wasn't breakfast. It wasn't dairy. It was something from the sea that fed his strength through the entire night. Let's go there next. George never thought of tuna as a bedtime food. He kept it in the pantry for quick lunches or emergency meals, but not for recovery, not for sleep. But when he paired it with the right kind of oil, everything changed. Because tuna, especially when packed in olive oil, is one of the most effective foods for preserving muscle and reducing inflammation after 60. Here's why. Tuna is pure protein, lean, dense. High in leucine, the key amino acid that triggers muscle building during sleep. But protein alone is not enough. To keep that protein in your system through the night, you need to slow digestion. That's where olive oil comes in. Olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats, the kind that doesn't just protect your heart, but also acts like a time-release mechanism for nutrients. It slows the absorption of protein, letting amino acids stay in the bloodstream longer, feeding your muscles gently through the night. Think of it like this. Tuna is the fuel. Olive oil is the slow-burning wick. Together, they keep the light on while you sleep. A 20-20 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition looked at older adults who ate protein-rich, omega-3 rich foods before bed. The results? A 34% increase in overnight muscle protein synthesis, less soreness in the morning, improved balance, better absorption of vitamin D, and lower levels of inflammatory markers, all from a small portion of something most people already have in their cabinets. So how do you use it? Eat about half a can of tuna packed in olive oil. Don't drain it. That oil is part of the benefit. Add a squeeze of lemon for flavor. Maybe a few slices of cucumber or a couple whole grain crackers to make it satisfying, but light. Avoid mayonnaise. Avoid heavy sauces. They slow digestion the wrong way and can interfere with sleep. If you want to enhance the effect, add a sprinkle of black pepper or a few shavings of fresh ginger. Both reduce inflammation and aid digestion. Who is this for? Anyone waking up sore? People with arthritis, joint stiffness, or slow morning starts? Adults who need better vitamin D absorption, especially in winter. And those noticing a gradual decline in strength or stability despite trying to eat well. Tuna in olive oil isn't just convenient. It's clinical, tested, trusted, and surprisingly powerful. George started adding it to his routine on nights when he didn't feel like dairy or wanted something savory. And by the end of that week, he said he no longer feared mornings because his muscles had stopped disappearing overnight. But there was still more to discover. The next food on his list wasn't salty. It wasn't fish. It was something cool, creamy, and full of quiet power. A food that rebuilds muscle, supports your gut, and calms your system all while you sleep. Let's open the lid on that one next. George had never thought much about yogurt. He liked it, sure. Usually in the morning with fruit or granola, but at night that seemed strange. Until he tried Greek yogurt as his bedtime snack. Not just any yogurt, plain, unsweetened, thick and rich. And within days he noticed a change. Less soreness in the morning, deeper sleep, more ease in walking from the bed to the kitchen. Because Greek yogurt is more than a snack. It's a muscle-repairing, gut-healing, sleep-enhancing food perfect for older adults. Here's why. Greek yogurt contains high-quality protein, mostly casein, the slow-digesting type that releases amino acids gradually through the night. Just like cottage cheese, but with a creamier texture and added benefits. It's also rich in calcium, which helps with muscle contraction and nerve signaling. And that's key when trying to reduce nighttime cramps or those jerky movements that wake you up before you're ready. But that's not all. Greek yogurt also contains probiotics. These are the friendly bacteria that support digestion and improve nutrient absorption. And when your digestion works better, your body uses protein more efficiently, which means more strength, less inflammation, and smoother mornings. A study published in Frontiers in Nutrition tested a high-protein Greek yogurt snack given to older adults before bed. The results? A 26% increase in overnight muscle protein synthesis, improved mitochondrial function in muscle cells, which translates to more energy, less fatigue, better recovery. Participants also reported feeling more refreshed and less sore when they woke up. Here's how George used it. He scooped out half a cup, plain Greek yogurt, no sugar, no artificial flavors. He added a dash of cinnamon, a few slices of fresh berries, and sometimes just a drop of vanilla extract. When he wanted something more filling, he stirred in a teaspoon of chia seeds. That gave him added fiber and plant-based omega-3s. Good for his heart, gentle on his digestion, and just enough to keep him from waking up hungry at 3 a.m. Who is this for? Anyone who wants to rebuild strength without eating heavy meals, seniors with digestive issues or low appetite at night, those who feel sluggish in the morning even after a full night's sleep. Greek yogurt isn't a dessert. It's not a breakfast. It's a tool, a quiet, creamy helper that works while you rest to give your body what it needs to heal, to restore, to strengthen. George added it to his routine on nights when he wanted something cool, soothing, and simple. But some nights he craved warmth, something that didn't just feed his muscles but wrapped around his joints and helped him fall asleep deep and calm. And that's when he discovered a golden drink used for centuries, now backed by science, that might be one of the most powerful recovery tools you'll ever sip. We'll pour that next. Some nights George didn't want to eat. He wanted something warm, something simple, something that felt like comfort, but worked like medicine. That's when he found it, a cup of warm milk mixed with turmeric, also known as golden milk. He had heard of it before, old remedies, stories from friends. But he never thought it had real power until he tried it. And what it did for his sleep, his joints, and his strength surprised him. Let's break it down. Warm milk provides 3 key things. First, it contains casein protein, slow digesting, just like in cottage cheese and yogurt, to help rebuild muscle during sleep. Second, it offers tryptophan, an amino acid that promotes relaxation and helps your brain produce melatonin, your body's natural sleep hormone. Third, it's high in calcium and vitamin D, 2 nutrients critical for muscle contraction, bone strength, and balance. Now add turmeric. Turmeric is a deep yellow spice used in traditional medicine for centuries, but modern science has proven it does more than add color. It contains curcumin, a powerful anti-inflammatory compound that helps reduce joint pain, muscle soreness, and oxidative stress, all of which become more common as we get older. When you combine turmeric with milk, you get a drink that doesn't just help you sleep, it helps you heal. In a 2022 study published in Nutritional Neuroscience, older adults who consumed a protein-rich drink enhanced with curcumin before bed experienced a 32% increase in overnight muscle protein synthesis and significantly less stiffness when they woke up. They also had reduced levels of inflammation measured directly in their muscle tissue. That's not a myth. That's measurable change. So how do you make golden milk the right way? Start with 1 cup of warm milk. Cow's milk is great, but if you're sensitive, you can use almond, oat, or soy milk. Just make sure it's fortified with protein and calcium. Do not boil it. Just warm it gently. Add 1/4 teaspoon of ground turmeric, then a pinch of black pepper. Just a few grains, they help your body absorb the curcumin much more effectively. If you like a little sweetness, add a teaspoon of raw honey, but skip the sugar. You want calm, not a spike. Stir it slowly, take your time, then sip it about 30 minutes before bed. Who is this for? Seniors with joint pain, people with restless sleep, those recovering from injury or inflammation, anyone who wakes up sore despite not doing anything strenuous. Golden milk isn't magic, but it feels like it. It's warm, soothing, healing, and deeply restorative. George started drinking it on the nights when his knees ached or his sleep felt light. And over time, his body responded, not with a burst of strength, but with something better. Ease, comfort, confidence, and all from a cup. But some nights he didn't want a drink or a bowl. He just wanted something fast, something from a jar that didn't require a spoon or a stove. Just one bite that could carry him through the night without hunger, without pain, without fear. And that's exactly what he found next. George didn't always feel like eating much. Some nights he was just too tired, too full, or too sore to prepare anything at all. But he still needed something. Not a meal, not a drink, just one small bite to keep his muscles from slipping away while he slept. That's when he discovered almond butter. A spoonful, that's all. Not toast, not crackers, just the butter itself. And somehow, that one simple thing changed everything. Here's why. Almond butter is rich in healthy fats. Fats that digest slowly and keep the body fed for hours without spiking blood sugar or overwhelming the stomach. It also contains plant-based protein, magnesium, vitamin E, and fiber, all essential for recovery, especially during sleep. But perhaps its most powerful role is what it does for stress. Because while you're sleeping, your body is still dealing with stress hormones like cortisol, and high nighttime cortisol is one of the silent reasons older adults wake up sore stiff or even anxious. In a 2020 study published in Nutrients, older adults who added almond-based fats to their nighttime routine had lower cortisol levels, better nitrogen retention, and improved muscle preservation compared to those who didn't. They weren't eating a full meal, just a tablespoon. That's all it took. So here's how to use it. 1 tablespoon of natural almond butter. No added sugar. No hydrogenated oils. No artificial flavor. Eat it straight off the spoon or spread it lightly on half a banana or a slice of apple. Want to make it even better? Add a dash of cinnamon or a sprinkle of chia seeds. That gives you anti-inflammatory support plus fiber and omega-3s without making your snack heavy. And if you're watching calories, it's still one of the most efficient muscle-protecting snacks you can eat, because you get strength, calm, and recovery in one bite. Who is this for? Seniors who don't like to eat late, anyone who feels stressed before bed, people who wake up at 2 a.m., mom, with hunger or anxiety or aches they can't explain. It's also for those who want something they can prepare in seconds. No cooking, no dishes, no rules. Just 1 spoonful. A signal to your body that you haven't forgotten it, that you're still listening, still feeding it, still choosing strength over decline. George called it his quiet habit. It became part of his rhythm. Right after brushing his teeth, he'd take 1 spoon, breathe deep, and know his body was safe for the night. He didn't think of it as eating. He thought of it as rebuilding, as sending a message before sleep. You matter. You're not done. You're still here. And now you've seen the full picture. Cottage cheese, hard-boiled eggs, tuna in olive oil, Greek yogurt, golden milk, almond butter. And there's one more. One that surprised even George. A final food backed by science, used by doctors, that helps not only preserve muscle, but actually stimulate new growth even after 60, even without exercise. It's not exotic, not expensive. But when used correctly, it becomes the most powerful tool in your bedtime routine. Let's finish with that next. For George, the last step wasn't obvious. He had tried soft foods, warm drinks, spoonfuls of calm. But then his doctor mentioned something he had always thought was for younger people. Whey protein. He had seen it before. big tubs at the store advertised for bodybuilders, gym goers, muscle men in their 20s. He had never imagined that someone in his 70s could benefit more than they could. But the science is clear. After 60, your body's ability to build and repair muscle drops sharply. Not because the body gives up, but because it becomes less efficient at using the protein you eat. Even if you're eating chicken, eggs, fish, vegetables. It's not enough unless you get the right kind in the right amount at the right time. That's where whey protein comes in. Whey is one of the most complete sources of protein available anywhere. It contains all 9 essential amino acids, and most importantly, a high dose of leucine, the trigger your body needs to start rebuilding muscle. Leucine is the light switch, the activator, and whey flips it better than anything else. A clinical study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition tested adults over 65 who consumed a scoop of whey protein before bed. Even without exercise, they saw a 22% increase in overnight muscle protein synthesis. They also had lower levels of muscle breakdown markers, improved walking speed, better balance, and stronger grip strength. All from one small drink before bed. So how do you use it? Choose a high-quality whey protein powder, preferably isolate or hydrolyzed whey if your digestion is sensitive. Mix 1 scoop with water or unsweetened almond milk. Drink it 30 to 60 minutes before sleep. Want to make it tastier? Add half a banana, a spoon of almond butter, a dash of cinnamon, or a drop of vanilla extract. Blend it smooth, keep it light. Avoid sugar, cream, or condensed milk or store-bought mass gainer shakes. Those work against recovery, not with it. Who is this for? Anyone over 60 wanting to stay independent, adults recovering from illness, injury, or long periods of sitting, people who don't eat enough protein during the day or feel their strength fading quietly. Whey protein isn't just for athletes. It's for the grandparent who wants to lift a grandchild, the neighbor who wants to carry groceries, the spouse who wants to rise from bed without bracing for pain. It's for you. And George, he started small, half a shake, 3 nights a week. Within 10 days, he felt the difference. Not in muscle size, but in steadiness, confidence, ease. He told me, "It feels like my body remembers how to stand again." And now you know what George knows. That strength doesn't disappear overnight. It fades quietly when we don't give the body what it's asking for. But the good news, you can give it back, gently, simply, night by night. 7 foods, each with a purpose, each with science behind it, each ready to help you rebuild without pain, without pills, without pressure. Try one tonight, just one, and in a few days, see how your mornings feel. Because you're not too old to get stronger, and it doesn't take a gym. It takes a choice, before sleep, to give your body a reason to rise strong again.